Hi, it's Matt from Tubby Tarot again. I want to share a secret with you about how your cards smell right after this. Do your cards have a whiff, a niff, a pong? Well, I'm going to show you how to take that all away, all right? This is something that a lot of people don't actually think about. How do their decks smell? Do you have a deck that smells, or do most of your decks smell of old paper? Do they smell of brand new paper? Do they smell of paper and cardboard? Because let's face it, decks are made out of paper, cardboard and plastic. And this is generally what they smell like. They aren't scented in any way. I like to open a card box and I like to get a fragrance, a fresh fragrance or a sweet fragrance, or a fragrance that actually goes with the type of cards that I'm using. If you're using a very light deck, you could go for something very fresh like a citronella smell or a lemongrass smell. Sometimes if you're using a very dark deck, you could go for spicy smells like licorice or cinnamon. But any smell except plastic, paper and cardboard. Okay. Now, before we even start this, I want to tell you something. You do not ever apply the scented medium directly onto your deck, directly onto the cards, ever. I'm not saying that it will damage the cards. I am saying that it might damage the cards. Depending on what you're using, you just don't want to take that chance. Obviously, if you're using an oil, it's going to mess up your cards badly. If you're using spritz and sprays, you don't know what's in there, okay? Again, it might mess up your cards. So please, let's do this with caution. It is not something that I just haphazardly do with any old thing. I have specific mediums that I use. Okay, one other thing before we get into the actual mediums that I use, I need to tell you about boxes. If you use the box that the cards come in, if it's a nice strong box, okay, what you must do here is take the lid off the box, and if it is blank on the inside, all right, you see there's nothing in this. This is the Divine Circus Oracle. There's nothing in here. Spritz or apply your medium to the box. You don't have to apply it to the entire inside lid. You can apply it around the edges, okay, depending on how potent the smell is. Otherwise, what I do is I just apply the medium to the entire upper box. Do not apply it to the bottom of the box where you're going to put the cards. It's going to get onto the cards, duh, okay, as Billie Eilish says. So, no, do not apply it to the bottom of the box. We apply this mediums to the top of the box. Okay, what if you have, what if you got your boxes, what if you have your cards in bags? I've got a little beaded bag that a friend made me. I've got a fluffy bag, okay, and I've got, this is just my best, my cute little witchy bag. Well, this is actually easier because what you can do is just apply the medium to the bag, especially if it's denim. This is made out of denim, okay, and it's quite thick, so the cards are not going to be touching the denim. The other thing is the cards that are in here, or in all these bags, are still in the original boxes. These are my Sibylla and tiny little Lenormand cards. So they are in their boxes, all right? This little beaded purse, the inside is fabric. So I just spritzed a bit of stuff in there and it smells nice. Actually, it does. I've got my Lenormand cards, my French Cartomancy Lenormands in here, but they're still in their box. Okay, so the cards are not actually touching the smelly medium. So I just basically pop that in there, close it up, and we're good to go. Okay, so those are bags, all right? The easiest thing, of course, is if you make your own boxes. Now, I buy these little boxes that are perfectly sized for cards. Just infuse the box with whatever you're using. These boxes are also nice for some of the other ways that you can actually make your cards smell nice. So there's those. Now, what if you keep your cards in the common old tuck box? Okay, okay. Common old tuck box. This is probably the prettiest one I could find ever. It's the vice versa tarot. Anyway, so you got your cards in here. Well, what I'm going to suggest you do with this is, first of all, find the extra card that comes with the deck. All the decks come with one of these things, okay? Or you get the one with the little man standing on the little fool about to step off a cliff. So get this, take it out of the deck, okay? And then look at your deck. Look at inside the box, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to choose a side, either that way or that way, and you're going to apply the medium only on that one piece. Can you see inside there? Only on that piece, that flat side. Don't put it on the sides. You can either put it on that piece or the piece at the top. Then what you do is you take your extra card and you slide it over where you've applied the... Hang on. Okay, so you slide it in over that, okay? And then you take your cards and you apply them, you put them into the box like that. So that your cards are protected by, they're protected from the actual scented medium by the extra card, all right? And ta-da, there you have all your cards nice and neatly. Now what is gonna happen, okay, is of course, the whole box will smell nice, all right? Okay, so let's have a look at some of the things that you can actually use, all right? You can use deodorant, common old garden variety deodorant. Just spritz the stuff on and you're good to go. If you are one of these kind of, I don't know, Kylie Jenner wannabes, you can use perfume, okay? Cologne, all right? This is the more expensive option, obviously. I would not want to waste my 1,000 Rand bottle of cologne on my cards, as much as I love my cards. You can do the same thing with this, all right? Exactly the same thing. You can also use essential oils. Any essential oil. Okay? You can use this, but again, I'm warning you, if this stuff, especially this stuff, gets onto your cards are screwed, okay? What this also does, and I need to warn you about the aerosol as well, it will get under laminate. So if your cards are heavily laminated, okay, make sure they don't touch this medium, all right? Because what this will do is it gets between the cardboard and the laminate will peel off, okay? I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to get you to do these tips and tricks. But just be careful, be aware that there are certain things that you don't want to do, okay? And there are ways and means of doing this so that you actually, so that it is actually a great success. Okay, the next way you can do this is very easy. It doesn't really work if your cards come in a box like this, because there's no space. This is just big enough for your cards. But this next trick will work if you have a nice box like this with a bit of space, especially if the box has got, I don't have any boxes here, but you know sometimes the box comes with a fake bottom. So you open the box, there's the book, then you take the book out, there's the cards, and then the cards are kind of nestled in that cardboard cutout thing. Okay, you can lift that out, break it out, and then you can pop in one of these beautiful sachets. Now this is just like meant to go into your linen cupboard, all right, or into your chest of drawers that has got your linen in, and it gives off the most beautiful scent. All right, and this works very quickly. Your cards will be infused with this scent within a week. Okay, it works tremendously and it is 100% safe. You can stick this thing on your cards, okay? Just remember that if you have a deck that you don't work with often, you're going to make sure that you change this thing maybe once every 3 months, all right? Because otherwise it loses its fragrance and it does tend to get a bit manky. Okay, so just make sure that you remember to change it. But it's a very clever way of getting your cards to smell really nice and to be infused with this geranium smell. I actually want to almost use it as a tea bag. Okay. Now the other thing you can do, and I actually discovered this a little while ago. A friend of mine showed me this. This will again only work if you don't let it touch the cards. Do you know? You all know these infusers. It's those funny little bottles of stuff. I'll try and open this one. It's these things. Okay, can you see that? Okay, and you put reeds in it. This is just a fancy schmancy one that gets covered. It was given to me as a gift. what you do is you take this and you pop the reeds in, and then all the nice smelly liquid gets diffused into the atmosphere. All right. What you can do with this is, once it's finished, or even when it's not finished or whatever, you can take one of these little reeds out, okay, and you can cut a piece of it off. All right. And then that piece is already infused with the essential oils that are inside, or the perfume or whatever is inside this bottle. And you just need to put that the same way you would put your sachet into the box. All you have to do is pop that little piece of wood, of bamboo, generally it's bamboo, into the box, the card box. And that actually also, it lasts for months and months and months, okay? That you probably would never have to replace, because again, it is oil, so it stays kind of fresher for longer, and your cards will absorb that smell much quicker. Any oil-based product, your cards will absorb the smell, the scent, a lot quicker. So you can use that. The other thing, of course, the last thing that I use is your garden variety incense. Now again, I have spoken about incense in one of my other videos. It's very cheap to get. I think you can get it, I know in South Africa we can buy it pretty much everywhere. I get mine from an Indian prayer store up the road from me. You can buy it, I'm sure, at any holistic store, any esoteric store, any witchy store. I don't know, in America, I'm sure even Walmart or one of those, Target, they'll probably have these sticks. Okay, can you see? I'm going to take one out and show you, because they really are divine. Okay. So what you do here is similar to this. You would take your incense stick and you would just cut a little piece off. Okay, just cut a little piece off. Bearing in mind, this is like a solid powder, if that makes any sense. So when you cut it, it's going to mess a little bit. So just make sure you put some newspaper down, or do it over the sink or whatever. So just cut this off, and you can take this little piece that you have left. So you take that piece, okay, there. I'll hold it over my shirt so you can see. Take that piece there and pop that into the card box. Again, it's not going to work with a box like this because, well, there's nowhere to get this thing in. Okay, but it will work with your little bags. It will work with your bigger boxes, your big tarot boxes. You can either pop it in down the side or underneath the little insert, and it certainly will work with your homemade, home-bought, store-bought box like this. The incense will not damage your card. You can pop the incense directly into the box and just leave it there. Now, all these techniques are going to infuse, the scent is going to infuse into your cards. So when you do a reading, whether it's for yourself or your family, your friends, clients, you open that box of cards, especially if it's an old box that you've been keeping on the shelf for a while. You open that box, and instead of this whiff of myth, you get a lovely scent, either a lovely sweet scent or a nice fresh scent, depending on what you've used. I think it's important. It kind of adds one more very subtle layer to your reading experience, and also to your client's experience. So I really hope that video has been informative. I hope you've learned a little bit, and I really hope you guys are going to try this, because it's just so cool and it's such fun. I'm Matt from Tabby Tarot, saying I will see you on the flip side.